When I was 7, I listened to father and changed into Crown Prince brother's clothes, luring the rebel army away, all by myself only to be abducted into the enemy camp for 8 years. By the time Crown Prince brother found me, I had been beaten and tortured by the rebels until I was half-witted and broken. To heal me, Crown Prince brother climbed 999 steps on his knees to pray for a blessing charm to keep me safe, to marry me. He stabbed himself 18 times in public, forcing the court officials to relent. But on the day I was to be married, elder sister pressed a blade to her own throat and, with reddened eyes, asked Crown Prince brother, "Do you want her or me? If you choose her, then tomorrow I'll marry into Prince Chi's estate. From this day on, you can dote on your crown princess, and I'll be my own princess consort. Our love ends here, and even in the next life, we'll never meet again." Crown Prince brother hesitated, but I stepped forward, tugged gently at elder sister's hand, and said to her, "Elder sister, smile. You look pretty when you smile." Elder sister flung my hand away at once, her eyes icy. "Disgusting. Don't touch me." Wronged, I lowered my head. I couldn't understand why the elder sister, who used to love holding me and calling me little dumpling, had suddenly become so fierce. So I turned to look at mother beside me, only to see that her eyes were red as well. Something restrained flickered in the depths of her gaze, yet she spoke with the same disgust. "Joe Tong, why did I ever give birth to a debt-collecting wretch like you?" I didn't know what kind of ghost a debt collector was, but I didn't want to be a ghost. I wanted to go up and hug mother, but father stopped me. He said, "Tong Tong, a married daughter is water already spilled. From this day forward, you have nothing more to do with our general's manor. Don't ever come back again." I heard the tremor in father's voice and shook my head desperately, stammering, "Father, don't drive me away. I won't go." But father acted as though he couldn't hear my plea. He pulled my red bridal veil down over my face, shoved me hard into Crown Prince brother's arms, and gritted out, "Go. Just go." I cried the whole way. Halfway there, Crown Prince brother lifted the curtain of my sedan chair. His voice was restrained, yet gentle as he coaxed me, "Tong Tong, don't cry. From now on, I'll be your only family." That year, I was 15, and, because of those words, I believed in him for 10 years, until 3 years later, when news came from outside that my family home had been confiscated. A maid from the Eastern Palace told me that because Prince Chi had plotted rebellion, my family had been implicated as well. I didn't understand what plotting rebellion or implicated meant, but I knew that father and mother had been thrown into a dark prison that never saw the light of day, and that elder sister had miscarried from the shock, her life hanging in the balance. I begged Crown Prince brother to take me to see father and mother, but he refused me with a cold face. "Tong Tong, from the day you were married off, they publicly declared they no longer had a daughter like you. They're heartless and faithless. Why are you still so stubborn about preserving this relationship?" For 3 years, Crown Prince brother taught me how to read and write. He was my only teacher. I had always listened to what he said. Only this, once I did not obey. "I want to see them." Seeing how insistent I was, Crown Prince brother stopped pressing the matter. Expressionless, he instructed me, "I can let you see them, but after this meeting, you should finally understand that I'm the only one who truly loves you. They deserve to die." After saying that, he ordered a carriage prepared for me. Inside the carriage, the seats were lined with soft cushions. My personal maid, Xiaoju, pinched off a piece of my favorite peach blossom pastry from the dessert box, and said with eyes full of envy, "Your Highness, the Crown Princess." His Highness, the Crown Prince, truly treats you so well. All these years, whenever you had nightmares, His Highness would cast aside all official duties just to stay by your side. He holds such a lofty position, yet keeps himself perfectly clean. Other than you, there isn't another woman around him. Even if you casually mention wanting something to eat, no matter how late it is, he personally goes to buy your favorite pastries for you. But your elder sister not only caused a scene at your wedding, she even went around after her own marriage telling people she had no younger sister like you. And your parents only ever loved your elder sister, saving all the best things for her. When you were married off, they prepared only 2 chests of dowry for you. But when your elder sister got married, she had a full 18 chests. I nodded, but I didn't reach out to take the pastry. Nor did I say anything. Everyone said Crown Prince brother married me out of gratitude. But all these years, whenever father or mother said even one bad thing about me outside, Crown Prince brother would order people to set up porridge stalls outside the city in my name and donate incense money to Huguo Temple. Every time elder sister tried to compare herself to me, a few more valuable items would appear in my room. Xiaoju told me this was Crown Prince brother standing up for me, fiercely slapping my natal family in the face, and that I should accept the Crown Prince's kindness with peace of mind. But I always felt that something wasn't quite right. Even when I looked at the dazzling, colorful jewelry, I couldn't bring myself to feel interested. When I entered the prison, the first thing I saw was father, once tall and broad like a mountain, huddled in a corner with mother in his arms. They were filthy caked with blood and grime, and the murky air reeked of blood. I hated that smell. During those 8 years when I was treated as a captive by the enemy army, I had suffered every kind of torture imaginable. The only thought that kept me alive was going home. I looked at father, parted my lips, but couldn't make a sound. At that moment, mother, who was cradled in father's arms, noticed me. Her bloodshot eyes glared viciously at me, and her voice came out hoarse and harsh. "Has the Crown Princess come to laugh at our family?" I shook my head, not understanding why mother would ask that. Nor did I know how to answer. On the way here, Xiaoju had imagined for me what should happen. She said father and mother would definitely beg me desperately to spare their lives once they saw how favored I was in the Eastern Palace, asking me to plead with Crown Prince brother to release them from prison. I never expected mother to curse me instead. "You must be so glad now that it was you who married into the Eastern Palace, not your sister. But with a fool like you, do you really think you can sit firmly in the position of Crown Princess? Maybe in another 2 years, once the Crown Prince takes a secondary consort, your fate will be even worse than ours." Mother's words made my heart feel sour and aching. I thought for a long time, but all I could mumble out was "he want." Crown Prince brother would never treat me like that. He had said he would be my family for a lifetime, but mother let out a shrill, miserable laugh. "You've been married to the Crown Prince for so many years, and your belly still hasn't shown any sign of movement. Meanwhile, your sister has already had 3 children. Whether he loves you or not is obvious at a glance." This time, I understood, because Her Majesty the Empress had told me the same thing before, that I should give Crown Prince brother a child as soon as possible. But every time I asked Crown Prince brother when he would have a baby with me, he would always smile and brush me off, saying there was no rush. Sometimes he would even say that he didn't like children, before I could tell mother that Crown Prince brother wasn't having children with me because he didn't like them. The next second, mother suddenly grabbed a stone from the ground and threw it through the bars, striking me squarely on the head. A bloody gash instantly opened on my delicate forehead. Blood ran down my cheeks, staining the new padded jacket Crown Prince brother had specially made for me. I seemed unable to feel any pain, standing there blankly in place. It felt as though a pair of huge hands had seized my heart and clenched hard, making it so stifling that I could hardly breathe. But Xiaoju beside me let out a piercing scream. "Mad woman, how dare you injure the crown princess? Once the crown prince finds out, he definitely won't let you off." Mother only curled her lips. "Good, then, at least give us a quick death." Father remained silent the entire time. Only when Xiaoju was supporting me as we turned to leave did he slowly shift his body and pull out a packet of malt candy from his chest. I remembered that 8 years ago, Father had promised that if I completed the mission, he would buy me a whole packet of malt candy as a reward. Just as I was about to reach out and take it, Xiaoju slapped the packet from Father's hand. The malt candy shattered all over the ground at once, and Xiaoju said sternly, "Trying to poison the crown princess, too. That's adding crime upon crime." Before I could speak up to defend Father, Xiaoju forcibly dragged me back to the Eastern Palace to treat my wound. Before the sky had even turned dark, Crown Prince brother had already returned from the palace. The moment he saw the wound at my temple, he clenched his fists, and a trace of hatred flashed through his eyes. He called Xiaoju out into the courtyard. Through the window, I saw her animatedly recounting everything that had happened in the prison today. Before Xiaoju could finish, Crown Prince Gege returned to the room. His eyes were wild, carrying a trace of displeasure. Before I could speak, Crown Prince Gege pressed a kiss to my icy lips. He pinned me down on the bed and let down the bed curtains. For 3 whole days, he did not attend morning court, nor did he allow me to go out into the courtyard to play. It was not until the 4th day, when he finally allowed me to go outside and bask in the sun, that I learned Father and Mother were dead. Xiaoju said they had been torn apart by 5 horses and had bled to death. They were not buried. Even the 3 children my elder sister had borne were exiled along with the rest. One of them, frail and weak, had already died on the road into exile, and the body had been thrown to the wild wolves as feed. I wanted to cry, but Crown Prince Gege would not allow me to cry. He gripped my hand hard and said, "Tong Tong, don't worry. You will forever be my one and only crown princess. It's about time we had a child, too." A month later, it was confirmed that I was pregnant. The Empress was delighted and sent many rare treasures into my courtyard. Even Crown Prince Gege was deeply attentive to the child in my womb. Once, I pretended to be asleep and heard him murmur in a repressed voice beside my ear, "Tong Tong, I'll definitely prove it to your elder sister." Back then, her choice was wrong. The next day, I asked Xiaoju why my elder sister could not marry Crown Prince Jeged together with me. Xiaoju, however, told me with perfect seriousness, "It's not that she couldn't. It's that your eldest sister refused." Back then, His Highness, the Crown Prince, originally wanted to marry her as his wife and take you as a concubine, but she absolutely refused to let you enter the Eastern Palace and threw every kind of fit. This servant has never seen such a selfish family member in her life. Other people all hope their own sisters can live well and support each other. But your eldest sister, for the sake of her own selfish interests, didn't care at all about the rest of your life. In the end, even Her Majesty the Empress couldn't stand it anymore and ordered that His Highness the Crown Prince was not to have any further contact with your eldest sister. Everyone outside sympathizes with you too. I only half understood, stroking my gradually rounding belly. I frowned and objected, but my elder sister used to be very good to me. If I wanted pastries, she would make them for me, too. Who would have thought that Crown Prince Gege would suddenly walk into the room, raise a hand, and pinch my nose? With indulgence in his eyes, he said, "Dummy, just because someone gives you food means she's good to you. Then, what about me?" I blinked and said, "You're good too." But there was still half a sentence I did not say aloud. Back then, father, mother, and elder sister were the best. In the blink of an eye, my belly had swollen round like a ball. When Xiaoju cried out, "The crown princess water has broken," I was sitting in the courtyard on the swing. I lowered my head and saw the clear liquid between my legs. Panic seized me at once, and I hugged my head with both hands, my shoulders trembling. "The fac didn't pee, don't hit me." Crown Prince Gege rushed over. The moment he saw how frightened I looked, he scooped me up without a second thought and ran back into the room. He bent down and kissed my brows and eyes, soothing me. "Tong Tong, don't be afraid. I'm here." But the person I most wanted to see right now was not him. It was elder sister. Xiaoju said elder sister had already been missing for a full year. Crown Prince Gege had sent people to search for her, but there had not been the slightest trace. They all said elder sister was dead, but I always felt that elder sister was still alive. "Your Highness, your body is far too precious. You cannot remain in the delivery room the whole time. Leave this place to us." The midwife respectfully ushered Crown Prince Gege outside. Immediately afterward, words of encouragement rang out by my ears. "Crown Princess, push harder. The baby is almost out. That's wonderful. I can see the head. One more hard push, and it'll be done." But my face was already drenched in sweat. In my hazy daze, I heard a cry, loud and clear. "It's born, it's born. The crown princess has given birth. It's an imperial son." The sound of firecrackers erupted outside. I forced open my heavy eyelids, trying to get a clear look at the little imperial son the midwife carried over. Just then, a thin figure suddenly threw itself to my bedside. A wave of chilling cold made my eyes widen instinctively. Then, a pair of withered hands clasped my warm palm. The words slipped from my mouth without thinking. "Elder sister, you finally came to see me." In the next instant, however, elder sister pulled a dagger from her waist. This time she aimed the dagger at my chest. Her voice trembled. "Zhou Tong, why didn't you die in the enemy camp? Why did you come back alive? Why did you steal the life that should have been mine? I hate you. You ruined my entire life. I curse you to spend the rest of your days being schemed against and dying miserably. I curse the child you bore to never live to grow up. I curse you and the crown prince to end up estranged in heart." Every word from elder sister was sharp with misery, but I saw the surging turmoil in her eyes, just as everyone thought the dagger in her hand was about to sink into my chest. Just as I was about to die right there, Crown Prince Gegad rushed in with his bare hand. He wrested the dagger from elder sister's grip. Blood dripped onto my face, but he had no mind to care about that. He kicked elder sister to the ground with one savage blow. I had never seen Crown Prince Gegez so furious before. He glared at elder sister with hatred, unable to contain the rage in his voice. "Jiang Yan, do you even have a heart? Back then, you were the one who ruined your own position as crown princess, and now you dare complain that Tong Tong stole the life that should have been yours. Someone as greedy and insatiable as you has no right to enter our imperial family, and you even dared curse my newborn child. Don't worry. Tong Tong's child with me will never die young. He is my legitimate firstborn son. After I ascend the throne, he will be my crown prince. No one will be able to shake his position. With a status like that, protecting him, he is bound to live to 100. Your curse is destined to fail. Even if in this lifetime I wrong heaven and earth, I will never wrong Tong Tong. After saying that, Crown Prince Gege closed his eyes, drew the sword at his waist, and thrust it straight into Elder Sister's chest. At the moment Elder Sister fell, I actually saw a faint smile on her face, just like when I was little, when she would sit beneath the pear blossom tree, wrapping my favorite glutinous rice dumplings for me. And when she caught me stealing a bite, she would wear that helpless yet indulgent expression. When I told Xiaoju about this, she only shook her head and said viciously, "Crown Princess, your eldest sister was a venomous woman who deserved 1,000 deaths just to poison you and the little imperial son. She actually ruined her own face with her own hands and hid in the rear courtyard of the Eastern Palace, spending half a year pouring out swill, knowing you were giving birth. She took advantage of the chaos to sneak into your courtyard and try to harm you and the little imperial son. If His Highness, the Crown Prince, hadn't appeared in time, you and the little imperial son would definitely have been killed by her. She even cursed you and the little imperial son to die horrible deaths. Someone as vicious as her ought to be cast into the 18th level of hell. I held my child in a daze, but in my heart, I was thinking that my elder sister should not be cast into the 18th level of hell. Ever since I gave birth to my child, many terrifying poisonous snakes had suddenly appeared on the skin of my once smooth belly. I was so frightened that I cried without stop. But after Crown Prince Gege brought a female physician to examine me, he had the imperial kitchens send over all sorts of delicious food to coax me. Tong Tong, don't be scared. These aren't snakes. They're your reward for bravely giving birth to our child. Even though he said with his mouth that this was a reward, I still caught that nearly imperceptible flash of disgust in Crown Prince Gege's eyes. From that day on, Crown Prince Gege came to see me far less often. He said official business was keeping him busy, but while I lay by the window, I heard the servant girls sweeping the courtyard whisper that there was now a sweet and understanding female disciple by Crown Prince Gege's side. She was the legitimate second daughter of the junior guardian's household, 15 this year, the same age I had been when I first married into the Eastern Palace. I had never seen the female disciple people spoke of. I did not think there was anything suspicious between her and Crown Prince Gege until my child fell ill. After every imperial physician in the palace examined him, they were all helpless, shaking their heads and urging me to prepare for the funeral arrangements as early as possible. Even Her Majesty, the Empress, personally came to the Eastern Palace to urge me to take it easy and said there would be new children in the future. I could not understand the twists and turns in their words, but I could understand the servant girls whispering in private. The little imperial son is practically dying, and the crown prince is still at the junior guardian's residence, celebrating Miss Yoon's birthday. Dying. My child was going to die. I did not like that word, because the moment I heard that word, it meant someone I loved was about to leave me forever. My father and mother were dead. My elder sister was dead. I didn't want my child to die too, so I begged Xiaoju to go find Crown Prince Gege and tell him to come back and save our child. But Xiaoju rushed out of the residence, only to return in a wretched state. 2 twisting lash marks had appeared across her back. She wiped the blood from the corner of her mouth and comforted me. "Your Highness, the Crown Princess, the little prince is blessed by fate. He'll definitely make it through this ordeal. Please, don't worry. Once His Highness, the Crown Prince, is finished with what's handling, he'll surely come back to be with you." But I waited and waited until night fell, until the breathing of the child in my arms grew weaker and weaker. and still Crown Prince Gege never returned. At that moment, a sudden saying spread through the inner palace. The crown prince had broken his poisonous oath, and the state would suffer the backlash. At once, everyone was thrown into panic. Even the director of the Astronomical Bureau said. This humble official observed the celestial signs by night and saw that a star beside the purple forbidden enclosure had dimmed into darkness, accompanied by the sweeping tail of a comet. This is an ill omen for the Eastern Palace, and a sign that the star of a noble person has been shrouded in dust. I fear the crown prince's virtue has fallen short, disturbing the heavens and bringing harm to the fortune of the nation. I beg your majesty to investigate at once, so as to calm the hearts of the people under heaven. Not long after that, Crown Prince Gege unexpectedly ran out from the junior preceptor's residence of his own accord. He paid no mind to his appearance. His hair was disheveled, his eyes red as he knelt before my bed. In this lifetime, I had only seen Crown Prince Gege's eyes turn red 3 times. The first time was when I was married off, and my elder sister threatened him to choose between her and me. The second time was when my elder sister died, and he drove the sword at his waist into her chest. The third time was now, when he held our child and bitterly begged my elder sister not to take back our child's life. Strangely enough, after Crown Prince Gege returned and stayed by my side for 3 days, my child's illness actually got better. Even the imperial physicians cried out that it was nothing short of a miracle. The Astronomical Bureau also submitted memorials, one after another, saying the celestial signs had returned to normal, and the land was once again at peace and prosperity. From that day on, Crown Prince Gege never went to see the junior preceptor's daughter again. Later, I heard from Xiaoju that Crown Prince Gege had gone to plead with Her Majesty the Empress and had the legitimate daughter of the junior preceptor's family married off to a remote fief. Spring passed, autumn came, and another year slipped by. When my child called out Mama for the first time, I was overjoyed. I held his chubby little hand and had him call me Mama again and again. Because of that, Crown Prince Gege got jealous. He picked up our big, plump boy, patted his backside, and grumbled, "You little brat, you only know how to call for Mama. Why don't you call for Papa?" Maybe because he found our child, who had only just learned to speak so precious. Crown Prince Gege's astonishingly stayed in my room for 7 nights straight. Every night, he would say to me, "Tong Tong, let's have a daughter. If our daughter takes after you, she'll be adorable." The very next month, I truly showed a pregnancy pulse, and this child really was a daughter. I was happy, and Crown Prince Gege was happy too. The entire palace and even the common folk held flowing banquets and celebration for 7 full days. Just as I was wondering what pet name to give our daughter, Crown Prince Gege said to me, "Tong Tong, I've watched over you for so many years. I've had a son and a daughter with you, so I can be said to have lived up to the oath I made back then. These days, the court is in chaos, and several of my younger brothers already harbor ambitions of fighting for the succession. I need support. Don't worry. Even if I marry someone into the Eastern Palace, I won't neglect you because of it. My promise from back then still stands. You will always be my only crown princess, and in the future, my empress. Our runner will be the future crown prince, and our daughter will be the most honored grand princess." Crown Prince Geges said a great many things, but there was only one sentence I could truly understand. "Tong Tong, can I take just one secondary consort?" Before I could answer, Xiaoju suddenly led my runner inside. Runner could walk now, though, not very steadily, so someone always had to keep an eye on him. He was very cute, fair, and soft, and even his voice was sweet and mushy. The moment he saw Crown Prince Gege, Runner opened his arms, wrapped them tightly around his father's leg, and said in a babyish voice, "Papa, Papa, in my dream, there was Auntie, Auntie said she wants to take Runner out to play." He spoke in broken, stumbling phrases. But Crown Prince Jega's expression changed at once, putting Runner's words together. What he meant was that there was an auntie in his dream, and that auntie wanted to take him out to play. I didn't know which Auntie Runner was talking about before I could pick him up. Crown Prince Gege had already scooped Runner up and gone straight into the study. When he pushed the study door open again, he said to the trusted aide beside him, "Go report to Mother, Empress. Tell her to find some reason to marry off Censor Lin's daughter. I'm not taking her anymore." In the 10th year of being with Crown Prince Gege, my Runner was 6.5. My Miamian was 5.5. Over these 5 years, I had truly come to understand just how hard it was to raise children. Raising 2 children was even harder, though they were obedient most of the time. What child was ever not troublesome? When Runner recited the entire 3-character classic in front of me without a mistake, I suddenly realized that Crown Prince Gege's complexion seemed much worse than before. Sometimes, when I woke up in the middle of the night, I would hear him secretly coughing by the bedside all by himself. There was even one time when he coughed up blood. But when the imperial physicians were summoned, they couldn't find the cause. Maybe he truly was no longer up to it, because Crown Prince Gege transferred quite a few of the maidservants, attending him away from the Eastern Palace. The time he spent with me and our 2 children also increased by far more than before, which suited me just fine. I tossed the children to him and shut myself in my room alone to tinker with food. Ever since passing my 25th birthday, I had become much more mature, too, at the very least. I no longer got a red nose at the slightest thing, but I never, ever could have imagined that after one inspection tour outside the palace, Crown Prince Gege would bring a fisher girl from among the common folk back to the Eastern Palace. This time, it was as if he had gone mad. He refused to listen to anyone's advice and insisted on taking the fisher girl as a concubine, even though rumors exploded throughout the palace, and my elder sister's curse from years ago began to spread once more. He remained unmoved and was determined to marry her. He even declared that he would give up his position as crown prince and go live among the common people with her as an ordinary husband and wife. When he knelt outside my door and begged me to fulfill his wish to be with the fisher girl, I opened the door, sniffed with my reddened nose, and asked him, "Crown Prince Gege, wasn't it you who said you wanted to be my family?" Tong tong, I married you only to repay a debt of gratitude. A mere 11 words. Yet they pierced my chest like needles. I asked Xiaoju what repaying a debt of gratitude meant. This time, Xiaoju lied to me. She said repaying a debt of gratitude was love too. That Crown Prince Gege loved me. But only later did I learn that repaying a debt of gratitude was not love. Hatred was. I dreamed of my elder sister again, but this time, in the dream, she did not blame me for taking her marriage away. Instead, just like when we were young, she sat me on her lap, stroked my forehead, and whispered by my ear, "Tong Tong, you've grown up. It's time for you to make your own decision. Elder sister can't help you anymore." After I woke from the dream, I heard that in order to save the fisher girl, who had been thrown into prison, Crown Prince Gage had forced his way into the jail and was stabbed 18 times in a row by the imperial guards, leaving him at death's door. All the imperial physicians in the palace worked through the night to save him, and only barely managed to preserve his life. It was just that he had lost the ability to father children. In this lifetime, Runner and Mian Mian would be the only 2 children he could ever have. In a hoarse voice, Crown Prince Gagad told me, "Tong Tong, your sister's curse has haunted me my whole life. Now I only want to live once for myself. Is that truly not allowed?" Smiling, I reached out and wiped the tears from the corners of his eyes, then smiled and told him Crown Prince Gege, "Thank you for taking care of me for so long. Now it's time for me to take care of you instead. Whatever you want to do, go do it." After getting my answer, Crown Prince Gege was unexpectedly overjoyed. Later, after my persuasion, His Majesty and Her Majesty, the Empress, agreed to let Crown Prince Gege marry that fisher girl, but because of all those uproarious rumors from back then, no one truly respected the fisher girl. After all, they all knew that my runner was the future crown prince, the future emperor. Whoever dared harm my runner would be going against the fate of the nation itself. The fisher girl, whom Crown Prince Brother had once cherished as his one true love, also revealed her greedy nature after entering this imperial harem. She wanted to compete with me, to snatch things from me. She wanted to climb into my place, but no matter how hard she tried, she could never restore Crown Prince Brother's body, nor could she bear a child. She even sought out all sorts of folk remedies from outside, in hopes of restoring Crown Prince Brother's ability to father children. When Xiaoju told me that the fisher girl had been buying all kinds of yang tonifying supplements from outside, things that could easily harm a man's, Badai was accompanying Runner as he trained. Runner had riding and archery lessons now, so he had to practice more diligently. When I heard Xiaoju grumbling to me about how the fisher girl refused to follow the Eastern Palace's rules, I quickly patted her on the shoulder. "Xiaoju, let her do as she pleases." With my word, Xiaoju immediately passed the order down, and everyone in the Eastern Palace stopped restraining the fisher girl as well. Unexpectedly, those folk remedies from outside actually did have some effect. Half a year later, the fisher girl truly became pregnant. Crown Prince Brother was both startled and overjoyed, thinking that he had regained his fertility. Because of that, he even got drunk and favored a palace maid. By the time the news reached my ears, I was accompanying Mian as she practiced her needlework. I heard from the Empress that Mian's skill with embroidery was even better than the seamstresses in the palace. Runner, on the other hand, had received repeated praise from his junior preceptor. Even His Majesty had said that Runner possessed the same brilliance the Crown Prince had shown in his youth. I was very happy. My children were all working hard, but disaster always came so suddenly, without the slightest warning. When I learned that Runner had fallen from his horse, struck his head, and lapsed into unconsciousness, I cried until I fainted as well. Perhaps because I had never cried, never made a scene, and had never once spoken ill of anyone before Crown Prince Brother. I heard that after I fell gravely ill, he once again kept watch at my bedside for 3 days and 3 nights without closing his eyes. He knew he had wronged me, and he did not dare cast aside the curse elder sister had left behind so lightly. Back then, when he gambled his life and the fate of the nation on marrying the fisher girl, he had already known he owed me a debt. I clutched his hand tightly and begged him to investigate the reason behind Runner's fall. He only thought I was distraught out of a mother's love and never noticed that trace of cold calm hidden in my eyes. After Crown Prince Brother left, I had AJV burn a basin of hot water, soaked a cloth in it, and wiped my hands over and over 5 times. In all, AJV said nothing. She only looked at me and after a long while finally said, "Your Highness, the Crown Princess, you and your elder sister are becoming more and more alike." I smiled. Yes, how could we not be alike? We were family, after all. Perhaps it was guilt driving Crown Prince Brother, but in less than half a month, The cause behind Runner's fall from his horse was uncovered. It was the fisher girl's doing. And on the very day he discovered the truth about the fisher girl, another major incident erupted within the Eastern Palace. While hurrying over to see me, Miamian had accidentally come upon the fisher girl and Crown Prince brother's personal guard rolling together in the grass, shamelessly entwined. When they were caught, the fisher girl's red dodo was still hanging from the guard's waist. It was madness, truly. Because of that, the child in her womb was most likely not Crown Prince brother's either. As a result, Crown Prince brother was utterly crushed throughout it all. I never once showed my face. I only heard that Crown Prince brother had ordered the fisher girl's corpse to be taken out of the palace overnight. As for how she died, I had no desire to ask. I was afraid it would dirty my ears. I used caring for the injured runer as an excuse and said I had no time to stay by Crown Prince brother's side. So I transferred the palace maid whom Crown Prince brother had previously favored to look after him. Perhaps because he had just suffered betrayal, the palace maid's casual words of comfort slipped straight into his heart. When I learned of it, I said nothing. I merely had the kitchens of the Eastern Palace prepare more medicinal meals for Crown Prince brother. When my actions reached the Empress's ears, she praised me, saying that, although I was not as clever as others, my conduct was gracious and broad-minded. Perhaps because there was my once mad elder sister to compare me to. Not a soul in the entire harem failed to praise me, and I too had grown used to being praised. The children I bore were also called blessed treasures because they were obedient and clever. Once I had listened all the way through Runner, reciting his policies for governing the state, the taut string in my heart finally eased. At the same time, dreadful news spread through the palace. The emperor was dead. When the news reached the Eastern Palace, Crown Prince brother actually tumbled straight off his scented couch. I did not know whether it was because he was too agitated, but his lower body suddenly stopped moving. He sent someone to summon me, unaware that I had long since arranged everything and was already hurrying over with my runner and Miamian. When Xiaoju brought people along and carried the disheveled Crown Prince brother into the palace on a stretcher, everyone covered their eyes. Crown Prince brother also pounded the ground with his fists in shame, threatening Xiaoju that he would have her sliced to death. Even in his dreams, he would never have imagined that the spy he had planted by my side would one day turn against him. Still less could he have imagined that Xiaoju had belonged to our general's manor from the very beginning. She was one of my elder sister's people. Xiaoju said to him, "Your Highness, there are countless ways to repay a debt of gratitude, yet you chose the stupidest one of all. Back then, you wanted to use Miss Tongtong's life to lure out the enemy army and seize the chance to secure your position as Crown Prince, threatening General Zhou with the lives of his entire clan so that he would abandon his own daughter. Years later, you wanted to use this so-called repayment of gratitude to win yourself the reputation of being loving and righteous. You even wanted the best of both worlds to have everything. Did you really think Miss Yan acted so wildly because she was throwing a tantrum and trying to force you to give up marrying her? She hated you. She hated that, for your own selfish desires, you trapped her only younger sister and even wanted to imprison the sister she loved most within these palace walls. She hated that you used the entire Zhou family as part of your scheme. She knew full well that with your temperament, sooner or later, you would sacrifice the whole Zhou clan to pave your own road forward. That was why she took such a desperate gamble and staked even her own marriage on it. Miss Yan said that Miss Tongtong had already suffered enough in the first half of her life. Since she could not change your decision, then she would use her own life to carve out a path of survival for Miss Tongtong. By the time Xiaoju reached this point, she was already sobbing too hard to continue. I could tell that she wanted to follow my elder sister in death, but I would not allow her to do that while the harem was in complete chaos. I had the people I had long arranged prepare those funeral rites in my stead. Then, I sent my runner and Mian Mian to keep the Empress company. Using discomfort as an excuse, I briefly took my leave, then seized the opportunity to push open the door and grab the dagger in Xiaoju's hand. Xiaoju stared at me, her eyes already swimming with tears. I told her, "You've said so many bad things about elder sister to me. If you don't clear her name for her, she'll blame you when you meet her in the underworld." At that, Xiaoju let go and threw her arms around me, weeping. Crown Prince brother stared at me, so furious that he coughed up a mouthful of blood. "Zhou Tong, you and your elder sister, you deceived me for all these years." At this moment, even if I said nothing, he could piece everything together. From the day father and mother severed ties with me, from the day elder sister came to hate me, every time he protected me, every vow he swore to might had all been a trap. From the very beginning, I knew Xiaoju was one of my elder sister's people because the peach blossom tattoo on her wrist looked exactly like the peach pastries elder sister used to make for me. Every time Xiaoju raged with indignation in front of me, I could always catch the tears glimmering in her eyes. I knew that she was suffering just like I was. And I also knew that my elder sister was the best elder sister in the world to me. Using the ruin of her own reputation, she paved for me a dazzling, brilliant road. I remember one time Crown Prince brother got drunk and mistook me for elder sister, and in that haze, he spoke a true thought from his heart. "Yanner, you're the one who understands me best in this world." Yes. Elder sister truly was the one who understood him best in this world. That was why she knew the Crown Prince's heart could never remain for her alone, nor did she dare gamble on how long his sincerity could last. So, from the very beginning, she had been planning for her. Mother's mocking words before her death gave her a child who could solidify her position. Elder sister's premeditated assassination attempt gave that child the qualifications to contend for the throne. The rumors that spread through the entire palace became the prison that shackled the crown prince. It was just that elder sister could not foresee the accident. The appearance of that fisherwoman really did throw my life off, if only a little. So every single thing I did afterward, I handled with my own hands. I remembered that old imperial physician Lin from the Imperial Medical Academy had been my father's close friend. When I had just been born, he had even given me a longevity lock. Director Wu of the Astronomical Bureau had once been a poor scholar my father helped support. He had owed our family a debt of gratitude, and by now, he had already repaid it in full. The palace maid who seduced the crown prince was a pitiful girl I had once saved by chance. And then there were my prematurely sensible runner and Miamian. Every one of them was an indispensable part of my revenge. The crown prince could not believe that, for all these years, he had been played for an utter fool by an idiot like me. But even if he learned the truth, it was already useless, because the throne was never going to be his to sit on. To keep anything from going wrong, I instructed Xiaoju to add another dose of Crane's Crest Red to the poison after it had already been prepared. I knew the crown prince wanted to curse me and my child the way he had cursed my elder sister, but I never gave him the chance. One bowl of poison went down, and all he could do was stare with bulging eyes before his breath slowly faded away. He seemed to have forgotten that the reason I made it back alive from the enemy camp was not simply because I endured everything in silence. There was a saying that fit perfectly. Anyone who can crawl out of hell is already a demon. The period of national mourning had not yet ended, and the crown prince, too, passed away from excessive grief. There was some turmoil in court, but most people did not feel much over it because of all the outrageous things the crown prince had done over the years. Some even breathed a sigh of relief at his death. After all, no one wanted a crown prince who treated the fate of the nation like a joke to ascend the throne. Besides, the crown prince had once said that my runner was his only heir, and as for the throne, whether sooner or later, he was always going to sit on it. So letting him take it a little earlier was no matter at all. On the day runner ascended the throne, I was honored as Empress Dowager because, in past years, the crown prince had distributed porridge outside the city to build up a good reputation for me out of spite toward my elder sister. Everyone in both the outer court and the harem treated me with exceptional respect. On top of that, all these years, I had been obedient and filial before the Empress, never once causing trouble, so no one in the harem could find any fault with me. And because I was seen as dull-witted, even less would anyone suspect that I might rule from behind the curtain and seize power from my own son, much less allow the maternal clan to dominate the court. This brilliant road my elder sister paved for me truly was bright all the way through. In the days after becoming the youngest Empress Dowager, I began just as my elder sister once had, spending all day in the little kitchen. Xiaoju and I tried from memory to recreate the pastries my elder sister used to make for me. But no matter what I did, I could never make them exactly the same as hers. Little by little, I found that I could hardly remember my elder sister's face anymore. When Miamian turned 18, I held her hand and saw her off in marriage. Then I watched with my own eyes as Runner, too, took a wife. At last, in yet another winter, I sat beneath the eaves and watched as the endless snow buried that fallen sprig of red plum blossom. As I looked at the thin wisp of bluish smoke rising from the little kitchen, the remembered taste of those pastries made my eyes turn red. I called out for Xiaoju before I finally remembered that half a year ago, Xiaoju had already gone to find my elder sister. I counted the years in silence. It had been so many years since I had seen my elder sister too. I missed her so much. So I looked toward the pale white of dawn, slowly spreading across the sky, and I closed my eyes. Elder sister, coming to find you. The story is over.